Tonight on CTV News at 6. More visibility in Sudbury.
These officers will be brought in to conduct traffic enforcement solely, so they won't be taking calls for service.
You can expect more police officers in high traffic and high complaint areas. Big plans for a popular tourist attraction in North Bay.
What we call the third generation families. Kids who were first wrote it in 94, 95 are now parents, or even pushing grandparents, and they've got their kids or grandkids.
The train station project is getting $1 million facelift. And with food prices on the rise.
But if you're committed to gardening, you will eventually amortize all the expenses that you made at the beginning.
Is growing your own food more economical?
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. One man is facing a second-degree murder charge following a death in Kirkland Lake Friday evening. Provincial police say paramedics were called in to assist District of Timiskaming Social Services with a person who had suffered serious injuries. The person was taken to hospital but died of their injuries. A 44-year-old man from Kirkland Lake is still in custody. Police are not releasing the victim's identity at this time. The Timmins Fire Department responded to a blaze at a local dump yesterday. Crews were dispatched Sunday evening to Deloro landfill after reports of black smoke that was visible. According to the fire department, tankers from 4 stations were needed to put out the blaze, and waste operators assisted in suppression efforts with heavy equipment. The deputy fire chief says landfill fires have too many possibilities to confirm a cause. Greater Sudbury's Finance and Administration Committee has approved $500,000 for the Greater Sudbury Police Service to sponsor a dedicated speed enforcement initiative. What does this mean for motorists? CTV's Lindsay Alick tells us more.
Since saying goodbye to the automated speed enforcement program, the city has received approximately $2.7 million from the province to be used for traffic calming measures.
There was 41 streets slated for traffic calming. Looks like we'll be able to do most of all of them. Plus with the police enforcement, plus with the drop in the speed limit, hopefully, we'll get people to slow down and be safe when you go out on the road.
While officials with Greater Sudbury Police Service say an operational plan still has to be approved by the board, this funding will allow officers to focus on high traffic and high complaint areas in the community.
It will be targeted enforcement by officers already employed, so there will not be any net new hires. However, these officers will be brought in to conduct traffic enforcement solely, so they won't be taking calls for service. Their tour of duty will be allocated to traffic enforcement, whether it be speeding, school zones, distracted driving, any of the top complaints related to road safety in our community.
The funding follows the recent announcement on the permanent implementation of a 40-kilometer-per-hour speed limit on all residential streets in the city.
We can't speed bump and sign our way out of this problem. We need the police to be out there and be seen and remind people that they need to slow down and stop at red lights and things like that.
It's unclear as to when the funding will be rolled out. However, Dunn says the amount of officers and how often they will be able to allocate resources based on funding should be unveiled at the Police Services Board meeting on June 17th. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Anishinaabe Police Service has launched a new public awareness campaign aimed at shining a light on a hidden form of abuse. The initiative focuses on coercive control, a strategy used by abusers to dominate, isolate, and manipulate their partners. Police say warning signs include an abuser monitoring a partner's location, cutting them off from family, or dictating finances. APS says that these controlling behaviors are major red flags for severe escalation, and the campaign was prompted by concern over recent calls involving life-threatening assaults.
Really significant concerns that was identified to all the officers and community members was an increase in strangulation calls where there was a form of. And what we know from history is that when there is strangulation, there's a very high risk. It increases the risk of loss of life and serious bodily harm. So That's concerning.
As part of the campaign, the APS webpage on domestic violence has been updated with new tools to help individuals recognize the warning signs. A major expansion is underway in Sudbury's mining sector. On Friday, Becker Mining Systems broke ground on its brand new Canadian headquarters. Local dignitaries and industry leaders gathered for a groundbreaking ceremony marking the start of construction on a new facility that promises to bring more jobs to the city. Founded in 1997 with a focus on mining safety devices, the company started with just 12 employees, but has since expanded to 45. The plan of the new building is to allow the opportunity to hire more workers.
And we expect it to turn roughly about 55 to 60 by the end of the year. And that's the intent behind the building, is we've run out of space where we currently are. Our current building is about 19,000 square feet. This one will be 33,000 square feet, so almost double.
It's bringing additional technology, and anytime we can add businesses that are bringing new technologies and increasing even our domestic capacity in terms of offering supply and services, it's always great.
Officials say they are hoping to be in the building by May or June next year. With the new Steve Omischel Sports Complex nearing completion, North Bay City Council will need to decide what to do with the Sam Jacks Recreation Complex in West Ferris. A report heading to Council Tuesday outlines the Sam Jacks Complex has been maintained for the last 10 years as a temporary solution until the new twin pad facility was built. Both a commission study by the city and the Recreational Facilities Master Plan say 6 ice pads are not needed in the community. The report is recommending demolishing the facility, but presents options to do a building conditions assessment or a less intensive study into the economic benefits of converting the building into some other public use space. With the rising cost of groceries in Canada, could growing your own produce be the answer? CTV's Angela Gemmel digs into the story.
Canadians continue to avoid purchasing U.S. products, including produce. One food trend expert says that's making vegetables more expensive to buy as grocery store chains import from other countries.
Because energy is more expensive, so to move these products around, it's costing more. So that's why that section is highly vulnerable to geopolitics.
That has many Canadians looking to grow their own vegetables.
We have folks in the city who maybe they have a patio and they're still, making use of the space they have if they're interested in gardening, or folks, on acreage who were like, I want to convert a bit of space to produce a bit of my own food.
Jenny Fortier owns Northern Wildflowers, a plant and vegetable seed supplier. She says there's been increased interest, particularly for vegetable seeds. Even when growing their own produce, gardeners are asking about where the seeds are from, wanting to buy Canadian.
Customers are really thinking about, is it from here? Is it grown here and or processed here? How much of that supply chain is actually happening here? So customers are really, really aware of that, a lot more than they've been since I started in this space.
Charlebois warns it's hard to keep up a thriving produce garden and it's costly to get started.
But if you're committed to gardening, you will eventually amortize all the expenses that you made at the beginning, and it will actually be it will be financially interesting later on after a few years.
Charlebois' advice for those who want to try gardening without forking over a lot of money is to start within a community garden and make friends, since gardens tend to overproduce. Angela Gemmel, CTV News, Sudbury.
Let's talk about the weather now. In some communities today, the temperature was in the low to mid-20s. It's hard to believe, right? Can we expect more of these temperatures? Here's CTV's Rick Wyman to tell us more. Rick.
Well, Tony, tomorrow will be nice, but the problem is in some areas we've got rain. We've got rain overnight, and some areas like Timmins will get rain during the day. Our system moving in as it tracks in to the northeast, low pressure system. Risk of a thunderstorm, as we'll see in our 7-day forecast a little bit later on. But again, we start off well. Nice temperatures for today. Temperatures during the course of the week will be nice, not great, but nice. Tomorrow will be really warm in some sectors. 28 with the Humidex in Greater Sudbury with a daytime high of around 25. We'll take a look at that and more, including your currents next.
Thanks for that, Rick. It's a $1 million makeover still to come on CTV News at 6. We are heading to North Bay and a popular tourist attraction that is getting a new look. Right now, though, we're off to Parry Sound. This live webcam is of the town dock. It's courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 18 Celsius in Parry Sound. We'll return in just a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The popular mini train on North Bay's waterfront is getting a facelift. A new train station is going to be built and ready to go in spring 2028. CTV's Eric Tashner has that story.
For years, the Heritage Train and Carousel have been delighting riders, young and old.
It makes you smile. It makes you smile. It makes you happy on it. Joy, and it spreads to us, and we try to spread the joy to them as well.
A new $1 million platform will be constructed along the train loop, called the Redpath Mining Heritage Train Station. Half of the project's projected cost is covered through donations, including one from the Rotary Club of North Bay. The upgraded station will be for administration, tickets, souvenirs, kiosks, and one section will try and replicate an old train station.
We were able to get some church pews from the Anglican Church in Temagami, which was deconcentrated back last year.
In 1994, the Heritage Railway Company opened, purchasing a steam and diesel engine along with 2 coaches. Fast forward to today, 3 trains run alongside 2 nearby carousels that attract thousands of families each year.
What we call the third generation families. Kids who were first rode it in 94, 95 are now parents or even pushing grandparents, and they've got their kids or grandkids.
Construction of the new rail station is set to start fall 2027, with it complete in time for Victoria Day launch in 2028, giving this over 30-year-old waterfront attraction a new facelift. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
PUC Services and S&T Electrical are hosting an open house tomorrow night to discuss key transmission infrastructure being built in Sault Ste. Marie. The project is a dual-circuit 230 kilovolt transmission line and station spanning 10 kilometers from Hydro One's third line transformer to the new transformer on Yates Avenue. Construction is expected to begin this spring with completion by early 2028. According to the PUC, the new lines and station will create energy security for the region and support long-term growth and reliability. The open house is from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Northern Community Center. And that new transmission line will also support Algoma Steel's new electric arc furnace, where the hope is the company will be able to support South Korean sub-builder Hanwha if it gets the contract for Canada's new fleet. CTV's Adrian Gobriel is on the West Coast today, where Hanwha is showing off the subs Canada could buy.
Cutting through Canadian coastal waters, the arrival of the Republic of Korea's Navy is promising to usher in a new era of middle power might and cohesion in protecting the open seas.
Be safe! Yeah! What really hits home is that Canada needs new submarines.
The Republic of Korea Navy arrived at CFB Esquimalt this weekend on board its KSS-3 submarine. A bid is in place for Canada to purchase 12 of these South Korean-made subs. The only other finalist vying to deliver Canada's next-generation submarine is a joint German-Norwegian bid. Ottawa will announce the winner of the contract this summer, which could come with a price tag of $25 billion. The Korean Navy gave CTV News a tour inside the submarine that could be the centerpiece of Canada's naval future. We were forbidden from taking any of our own video inside. Korean Navy provided footage shows their crew in action. The submarine is more spacious inside than Canada's aging fleet, with the capability to deploy both anti-ship and land attack cruise missiles.
I just want to say thank you.
2 Canadian submariners traveled with the Korean Navy for part of the journey to Canada. When asked to compare the difference between the current Korean sub to Canada's aging fleet, they didn't mince words.
It's kind of like buying a brand new Tesla, and then you're coming out of a '99 Honda Civic.
The Canadian Navy's 4 Victoria-class subs were first built in the 1980s. Only one is currently operational.
You have 3 oceans to patrol. How difficult does that make your job?
I do not have enough ships to patrol and protect Canada like we should, which is why we're investing.
Currently, the Canadian Navy has approximately 200 submariners. They will need at least 1,000 strong to operate a fleet of 12 submarines.
This is all about democracy and freedom.
The ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Canada believes his country is well positioned to help protect Canadian coastal sovereignty.
Middle powers need to work together, and Korea stands ready to work together with Canada.
In increasingly troubled waters, the Canadian government is focused on forging friendships as it rekindles historic military alliances.
With a decision expected as early as this June, whoever is chosen to deliver Canada's next generation submarine is poised to play an integral role in shaping the country's Navy for decades to come. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, CFB, Esquimalt.
A priority project for Sault City Hall was heard once again by both provincial and federal officials, with reassuring words from both Doug Ford and Melanie Joly while visiting the Sault Friday. A deep-sea port has been a priority project for Sault Mayor Matthew Shoemaker, aiming to add jobs and strengthen industry ties from the city and beyond. Shoemaker had hopes the Port of Sault Ste. Marie could be deemed a project of national significance when the Prime Minister outlined parameters for the infrastructure funding.
We're really interested by the project, but of course we want to be able to work with the province. We know that Sault Ste. Marie right now is and has always been strategically located. We want also to be able to diversify the economy here, and we know that we can reinforce the steel sector and at the same time be aware of different projects, including transport ones.
I think that would be a fantastic project. We'll sit down with the mayor, discuss it. We'll sit down with the minister right beside me because they have more money than we do. But we'd be very, very interested in investing in it as long as the feds come on board.
In September, the city signed an agreement with the Hamilton-Oshawa Port Authority to work toward a business plan and infrastructure strategy. And Sault Ste. Marie Mayor Matthew Shoemaker is calling on the province to support the city's Power Action Centre to help laid off Algoma Steel workers. The centre supports workers transitioning to new jobs, which Shoemaker says needs financial support. 1,000 workers were laid off in March when Algoma Steel moved to its electric arc furnace. The mayor, in a letter to the province, cites the growing need for skilled trades workers and the value of manufacturing jobs to the region's GDP, and notes these workers would need little training to move into other trades. The letter didn't say how much financial support is being requested. The province did provide an initial investment of $1 million for the centre. The Northern Tornadoes Project has completed surveys into the damage in Mattawa and the Huntsville area 1 week ago, following a series of wicked storms. Officials with NTP say that 4 separate downbursts occurred. The first downburst in Mattawa had estimated wind speeds of 115 kilometers per hour. To read more on this story and the update on it, head to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. And back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
Well, Tony, not nearly as severe as what we just witnessed and what went down in Mattawa. Our forecast radar, we've got some precipitation moving into the northeast. We'll get to that during our 7-day forecast. But first, let's check out our illustrious conditions right now. Moosonee, sun and cloud, 22. Cochrane, more of the same at 22. 25, Timmins, mainly sunny. Mainly sunny in Kapuskasing at 24 as well. Sun and cloud in Chapleau, 25. Wawa, 18 with the sun. Sault Ste. Marie, sunny skies at 25 as well. In Parry Sound, mainly sunny, 18. Nice night there. In North Bay, also mainly sunny, 20. Mainly sunny, 24. Temiskaming Shores, 24. In Kirkland Lake as well. Greater Sudbury, sun and cloud, 18. 18 Espanola, 21 in Elliott Lake. And Gore Bay, 15 this hour. Okay, here we go. 7-day forecast and, of course, my fave, pick of the day, all coming up, Tony. We'll explain the weather in complete detail just minutes away.
Thanks for that, Rick. Western premiers are meeting in Alberta next on CTV News at 6. They're discussing trade, but talk of Alberta separation is an awkward issue. And why is Ontario Cabinet Minister Caroline Mulroney leaving politics? Ontario Cabinet Minister Caroline Mulroney has announced she will resign. The daughter of former Prime Minister, the late Brian Mulroney, was elected in 2018 as part of Doug Ford's first provincial government. She has served in multiple cabinet positions and is currently president of the Treasury Board. In a letter, Mulroney said that 2 years ago she lost her father and she and her husband recently became empty nesters, and now is the right time to start a new chapter. She will resign June 5th. Premiers of Canada's western provinces and territories are meeting in Alberta this week to discuss business and trade, but another issue of national importance will most likely be on the agenda. The annual conference runs today and tomorrow in Kananaskis, just west of Calgary. While the 7 premiers are set to discuss the economy, defense, and nation-building projects, there has been considerable tension between Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and BC Premier David Eby over a proposed pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast. Most recently, Eby criticized Ottawa's handling of the National Development File. Meanwhile, some of the leaders say they want to talk about Smith's decision to put a question about a province's future within Canada on an upcoming fall referendum. Prime Minister Mark Carney is already talking about Smith's referendum question, calling it, quote, a dangerous bluff. Last week, Danielle Smith announced that a referendum set for October would include a question about whether or not the province should pursue separation. CTV's Rachel Aiello is following this story for us.
That is a very dangerous bluff.
A stark 6-word warning from Prime Minister Mark Carney for Alberta Premier Danielle Smith.
In these separation issues, it is often advanced that vote for this and it's a free option. Vote for this and we will strengthen our hand in a future negotiation. That is a very dangerous bluff.
Unprompted today, the Prime Minister drew on his experience as the Governor of the Bank of England during the Brexit crisis. When asked what he thinks of the referendum question Smith is putting to Albertans this fall.
I saw firsthand what happened in the United Kingdom when the view was vote for this, it'll be soft, and then we'll negotiate, etc. And they ended up, and they're still 10 years later trying to undo what people didn't think they were voting for, but what they ended up having.
Carney's words of caution about understanding the risk of using this referendum as a bargaining chip was met with pushback from Premier Smith, who has called it an exercise in democracy.
I'm just trying to get a gauge of where Albertans are at. I think that that's respectful of the process that 700,000 people went through in signing their petitions.
That sentiment echoed by the separatist Bloc Québécois.
Still up to Albertans to decide, and definitely not to another government to decide on what if the question should have been asked in the first place.
Conservatives said Carney's comments do nothing to address Albertans' concerns.
He has no right to wag his finger. That makes it worse.
As her province contemplates whether to vote to remain or pursue a path towards independence, Smith also said today she'll keep working with Carney towards a stronger Alberta within a united Canada. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A large delegation of business and industry leaders from India is in Ottawa today to discuss ways of boosting trade and investment between the two countries. It comes as Canada is looking to deepen our trade relationship in light of President Trump's trade war on Canada.
This is very important. We made a promise to Canadians that we'd diversify our trading partners and we'd unlock roughly $300 billion of additional non-U.S. exports. And this is what we're focused on in this visit.
The delegation of more than 100 senior officials from India's mining, energy, and aerospace industries is being led by India's Commerce and Industry Minister.
Where our Prime Ministers have tasked us not only with completing the free trade agreement with a comprehensive outlook before the end of this year or earlier, but tripling our trade from a current $17 billion level to a $50 billion level by 2030.
Canada and India have been in trade talks since 2010, but those talks were shut down by Ottawa in 2023 after the federal government accused New Delhi of playing a role in the assassination of a Canadian Sikh activist in British Columbia. Prime Minister Carney has made it a priority to reset relations. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Okay, friends, welcome back to the show that never ends. We like to call it weather. We've got some rain in the forecast after a nice sunny day and some really respectable temperatures. Here comes that system filtering through. This is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, by the way. So some showers overnight, showers into the day, like some areas like Timmins. And again, then some cloud cover and more sunshine to come. But again, nothing too serious right now. Let's check out some of the overnight conditions. Chance of showers in Greater Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, more of the same. Showers in Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, and North Bay, a few clouds. And you can also see the risk of thunderstorm activity in several areas. How about Moosoody? Showers as well. Caphurst, showers. Wawa, chance of showers. Gore Bay, chance of showers in Parry Sound. Just a few clouds down the highway. 69. Sudbury Nickel Belt, chance of showers beginning overnight, 25 tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, 22, 23. Chance of showers to kickstart your weekend. Chance at 60%, but 21, then 21 Saturday and Sunday. Couple of days of sunshine. Should be a great weekend coming up. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers at 40%, risk of a thunderstorm 18. Then take a look at this stretch of weather. Sunny skies Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all at 21. I like that. That's a couple of degrees above normal for the Sault and Algoma. Different story in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Showers over the course of the day tomorrow, 18 Wednesday, cloud cover Thursday, sunny skies 21. Chance of showers, maybe the odd sunny break on Friday, also 21. 20 on Saturday and Sunday. To make amends, I guess, for Friday's weather, you've got sun and cloud and 20, which is just a shade above normal for this time of the year. Hey, don't forget, it's almost June. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm 25. Wednesday, Thursday, sun and cloud both days 19, 21. And Friday, chance of showers at 60%, 20. 20 again Saturday, 20 on Sunday, sun and cloud both days. Bingo, that's your normal for this time of the year at 20 degrees. So all in all, shaping up to be half decent. And let's move on over to North Bay and West Nipissing. Don't forget the dandelion count is starting to grow daily with these warmer temperatures and some of the wet weather as well. So you get the heat, you get the moisture, and you get more dandelions at this time of the year. Chance of showers tomorrow, 24, 21 Wednesday. Sunshine Thursday, sun and cloud 22. Chance of showers Friday at 20. 19 Saturday, sun and cloud. And Sunday, we've got sunshine at 20. Carter Brown is back driving the bus tonight. Carter, if you will, the pick of the day. Here we go. Norm Bolzuk, Saturday at Porcupine Lake. Just a great shot. You see the glimmering water, the sun. Just a great day to hang out by the water and enjoy yourself. Hey, stick around. We've got more news coming up with Tony after the break.
If you get a parking ticket or any kind of traffic ticket, it's good to deal with it right away. If you don't, it could come back to haunt you later. The City of Toronto is digging through its vault, finding old parking tickets, and it wants drivers who pay up. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
I don't even remember what I was doing 30 years ago, let alone dealing with tickets.
Jeff Clendenning of the Georgetown area says last month he discovered his driver's license had been suspended. He first thought there may have been fraudulent activity, but he discovered it was due to a parking ticket from the 1990s.
And the ticket was from 1996. So it's a 30-year-old ticket. And surprisingly, it was on there, and it's for $32.75.
When he contacted Service Ontario, they had no record of the infraction. Finally, he tracked it down to a parking ticket in Toronto that had been partially paid. But due to the outstanding balance, his license was suspended. He feels he should have got a warning first.
I was shocked that I didn't get in that first letter, hey, you've got this outstanding fee. You've got 15 days to to resolve this issue. Otherwise, we're going to suspend your license.
He paid the parking ticket, but to get his license back, he also had to pay a driver's license reinstatement fee of $281. Something else he felt was unfair.
That could be someone's car payment. That could be someone's, that could be their food.
Ontario's Ministry of Transportation told CTV News unpaid fines do not expire. If a ticket remains unpaid, it can lead to plate denial or a driver's license suspension. To reinstate a suspended license, individuals must pay the outstanding fine and penalties as well as a reinstatement fee. Toronto is actively going after unpaid parking tickets, which could amount to tens of millions of dollars. Glenn Denning says they should use a different process than having driver's licenses suspended.
It certainly has an appearance of using a very, very powerful tool of removing someone's license to collect a very, very old and outstanding fee.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A New Brunswick widow is speaking out after her husband died of a brain tumor. He spent over 3 decades as a city firefighter, and she wishes more families knew the hidden dangers. CTV's Laura Brown has that story.
Firefighting brought them together. A Miss Fredericton pageant where the city's firefighters were asked to escort the contestants.
We kind of both knew that we wanted to stick together.
Ken Jenkins had 4 loves of his life: his wife Joni, their 2 boys, and firefighting. His career spanned 30-some years. His battle with cancer, 7 months.
I did say once, the career Ken loved is going to kill him.
Ken Jenkins died at 63 from a brain tumor known as a glioblastoma. It's assumed his time as a firefighter is what caused the cancer, which is why his passing is recognized as a line-of-duty death.
It wasn't until we did a deep dive on it that we realized what the beast we were facing.
Cancer is killing our firefighters.
A firefighter for 25 years and counting, Barry Durling feels it's only a matter of time before he's diagnosed. Firefighters have a 9% higher risk of cancer than the general public and is 14% more likely of dying from it. In the last decade, 31 New Brunswick firefighters have died in the line of duty. 29 were due to cancer.
Our turnout gear is laced with forever chemicals, PFAS, and they're absorbing through our skin when we sweat and getting into our bloodstream, causing cancer.
The Fredericton Department has committed to buying its 120 members chemical-free gear by next year. But Durling feels New Brunswick needs to recognize more cancers as occupational illnesses. Right now, the province lists 10. In Nova Scotia, it's 20. Joni is hoping for that change so more families get to see their heroes live longer. She says Ken's kindness and service is now his legacy.
Right about now, I think the world needs a little more of that.
Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
National Accessibility Week runs May 31st to June 6th, but Sudbury is kicking the week off early. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Accessibility isn't just for people with disabilities, it's for everybody. The mom with a stroller can get in a building that has a ramp.
Today marked the start of National Accessibility Week in Sudbury.
All those hidden voices are now coming out. So when they see these events, when people with disabilities that have been hidden see these events and go, I have a voice too, it makes them come out. And then we learn and we grow. We don't grow unless we're learning.
It's important that we recognize national accessibility in the city of Greater Sudbury. We know we have a lot of more work to be done. However, we've accomplished a lot as well. So it's about celebrating where we're at, recognizing that inclusion is part of our everyday life and that we have to make it even more at the forefront.
The remainder of the week includes a bake sale, a walk, wheel, and ride-a-thon, among other activities happening throughout the city.
Once we start celebrating something, you see the community get more involved, and it opens their eyes to some of the challenges that people face with disabilities.
According to Gray, 37,000 people identify as having a disability in Sudbury, and there are still barriers to accessibility.
Accessibility needs, inclusion, diversity, equity. It's just our way of giving back to the community, because right around me every single day I'm surrounded by experts.
I'd like for the future to become truly universally accessible for everyone of all sorts of disabilities, whether it's physical, neurological, you name it. try to include us all if you want us as customers or new buyers and so forth.
The week intends to highlight inclusion and to raise awareness about accessibility and create a more accessible path forward.
Ask yourself, who are we leaving out and how can we invite them in?
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, Sault Ste. Marie is overhauling its transit routes next month. Starting June 7th, the city will launch Sault Loops, a newly redesigned transit route aimed at improving stop frequency, reliability, and overall rider experience. According to the city, there will be 4 new routes added to the transit schedule, including routes in the east and west ends of the city. The full routes and schedules are available on the city's website. It's the first of its kind. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. First responders and volunteer firefighters are putting their skills to the test on Manitoulin Island.
Clothing consideration provided by
Fashion Fair. Beautiful clothing for today's woman, where quality makes the difference.
A brand new tradition is coming to Manitoulin Island this weekend as local firefighters prepare to push themselves to the absolute limit. Final preparations are underway for the first ever Manitoulin Island Firefighter Challenge. The event will see first responders from across the north compete in full gear through 5 grueling events, including timed obstacles and real-world rescue scenarios. The public is welcome to attend, and organizers are asking visitors to bring a non-perishable item for the local food bank.
Firefighter safety is important, and you want to be able to muscle memory do what you need to do to get out of a bad situation. You want to do what you need to do to rescue a fallen firefighter or a victim for that matter. It can be a victim or a firefighter that you're rescuing. Camaraderie is really big, building a team rapport.
The challenge runs this Saturday, May 30th from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Gore Bay Arena. North Bay's Discovery Routes and Hamilton-based New Hope Community Bikes held a special event over the weekend aimed at engaging with Indigenous youth. Discovery Routes Recycled Bikes Workshop visited Bear Island to provide cycling education and bike repair training. This event wasn't the first collaboration between the 2 charity groups. Discovery Routes and New Hope had partnered earlier in the year for a similar event on Bear Island, where the community had raised funds to provide bikes for local youth. Montreal has a new champion, the Canadian Grand Prix, taking place over the weekend. Despite the wet weather, this year set a record for attendance with 360,000 people in the stands. CTV's Sweet Arasi reports.
Hats and hoodies were the style at this year's Grand Prix, as temperatures reached a high of 13 degrees Celsius with a mix of rain and clouds.
We came prepared, so we're good.
Yeah, I'd rather be over-prepared, but thankfully it looks like it's lightening up.
In fact, some fans were hoping for a wet circuit.
I actually want it to rain. I probably won't be too popular to say that, but if it rains, it's going to make for a really interesting race.
Quite a bit closer. While it didn't rain during the main F1 race, it didn't need to be challenging weather to make it memorable.
Been a great race, really exciting, lots of action.
It's an amazing battle at the beginning between Mercedes cars, and after that the battle with Lewis and Verstappen, that was amazing.
And of course, there were favorites.
Lewis Hamilton has always been my favorite.
Do you have a favorite driver?
Max.
Max Verstappen to win?
Yep.
And a commanding lead now.
Both of them did make it to the podium, but it was Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli who came out on top.
Antonelli money line, 10 racks. We're going to the top. Let's go.
I'm devastated that Charles Leclerc didn't win, but he'll get him next time.
Despite the weather and Formula One moving the race up to May, this year was still record-breaking for the Canadian Grand Prix, with 360,000 people filling the stands, a mix of locals and visitors from around the world.
Oh, we're from the United States. We're traveling to New Hampshire.
I mean, it's my first time in Canada. I always wanted to do the Canadian Grand Prix because I like this track. It always brings up good racing.
And for many here, Montreal gave them exactly what they came for.
It was really cool to see, first-hand experience.
Oh, the race was insane.
And one they will probably never forget. Sweet Arasi, CTV News.
The NHL's Eastern Conference Final comes to Montreal tonight.
Back in, the chance
Canadians and the Hurricanes split the first 2 games of the series in Carolina after that heartbreaking Game 2 overtime loss for the Habs. Now the Bell Centre will be rocking as Montreal tries to take back the series lead in Game 3 this evening. Sports for Kids Timmins is celebrating a major milestone. The charity assists children from low-income families participate in organized sports in the city. Officials say the program continues to grow and covers registration fees for a wide range of sports, including hockey, soccer, swimming, gymnastics, martial arts, cricket, and more. Since 2002, it's raised more than $1 million to help 3,650 children. The group now partners with over 36 local organizations.
Well, it signifies, number one, that the community and the businesses of Timmins have supported us. That's where the funds come, and that there's a need. Every child, no matter what the income of the family, should have the right to play an organized sport. Sport has been proven to provide so many life skills in a child. And so we are here to help those in need, to ensure that they have that opportunity.
A Welcome to Sports Night is taking place this evening to give families a chance to try different sports for free and learn about programs available in the community. In entertainment news, classic pop culture items hit the auction block, and the role a popular actor won't be playing. Here's David Daniel with our Hollywood report.
Ultra-realism is actually the hardest thing to do. It's hard to fabricate ultra-realism.
Idris Elba says realistically he was never in the running to play James Bond. The fan-favorite actor tells People magazine, despite years of speculation, the current search for the next 007 does not include him. My name's not getting thrown out, no way, says Elba. They're going younger, and I wish them all the luck in the world.
What's your problem, Kazansky? You're everyone's problem.
A Val Kilmer Top Gun prop leads the latest golden pop culture auction. Iceman's flight helmet from the iconic film includes the oxygen mask and hose connector. Other items up for bid include an Xbox 360 Pac-Man World Championship console signed by Pac-Man creator Toru Iwatani, and a copy of Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man in a Marvel comic. The auction runs through June 17th at golden.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Here are some of today's business headlines. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is lashing out at the CRTC's demand that international streaming services put more of their revenue toward Canadian content.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are already taxed to death. Why won't they follow our lead and get rid of the Netflix tax so Canadians can stream affordably?
At every step of the way, when we put measure around affordability, they voted against, Mr. Speaker. There should be a shame. At a time where Canadians are asking us to act on cost of living, Mr. Speaker, that's what exactly we've done.
The CRTC is planning to increase the amount Netflix and other streamers have to put toward Canadian content to 15%. That's up from 5%. The Conservatives say that could lead to higher prices for consumers. Thousands of entrepreneurs, investors, and innovators have descended on the city to take part in Toronto Tech Week. The event began in 2024 as an alternative to a typical conference. Tech Week offers a decentralized platform, allowing anyone to host an event. Josh Murphy, the co-founder and CEO of WIGO, a startup focused on bringing people together, spoke about the event. Toronto Tech Week runs through to Friday, May 29. Tim Hortons has announced plans to hire 10,000 workers. The company says it will dial back the use of the temporary foreign worker program. It comes as the coffee chain plans to expand its number of locations, adding 80 new storefronts across the country. A statement from Tim Hortons says the company will also stop lobbying the federal government to expand the temporary foreign worker program amid high rates of youth unemployment. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down 1% to 72. West Texas Intermediate is up 25 to 96.60. Western Canadian Select is up 61 to 78.22, and the TSX gained 359.89 points today, now sitting at 34,830.89. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $61.30, closing the day at $45.7180 US an ounce. Silver up $2.56 to end the day at $78.07. Copper up a penny, and nickel up a penny also, ending the day at $8.44 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Tuesday weather.
Well, Tony, the temperature will be up for tomorrow, and that's a good sign across the Northeast. Little bit of precipitation, morning showers overnight. Greater Sudbury 25, Timmins 23, showers off and on during the day, 18 and showers in the Sault. Risk of a thunderstorm as well. Meanwhile, chasing North Bay 24, chance of showers. 21 in Parry Sound, chance of showers, and 25 in showers in Temiskaming Shores, but those temperatures look good. More sunshine to follow with the rain. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. And finally, it's a tradition. The annual cheese rolling race took place in England today. It was a balmy 32 degrees as some hardy Brits took to the hills of Gloucestershire, chasing a 9-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese down a nearly 600-foot hill. A German man, Tom Kopke, won the main event, his third win in the last 3 years. Other winners include a Florida man and 11-year-old William Anderson, who said it was a great day.
It was crazy. I think this was my most controlled run ever. I don't know how it looked.
Any injuries?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm just very hot in this suit.
By the way, there are 7 races in total, with each winner taking home a wheel of cheese and maybe a sore neck or back. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.